Every time I do a review, I try to keep an open mind, but just like you, I've got biases. Whether that's because I've played certain clubs over the course of almost 40 years that I've been playing golf, or because I've been doing so many of these reviews on YouTube, I start to see patterns. Whatever the case may be, I generally have a couple of preconceptions before I start the review. However, like I said, always leave the possibility open to be shocked or amazed or have my mind change. And I've got to say that 7 times this year in 2022, I've been absolutely shocked by the results that I've had out there on course. And I want to share those with you today in this video. So first on my list here of the times I was shocked here in 2022 was when I visited the PGA show and I stumbled across the Sticks booth. Actually, it was a little tent there out on demo day. And while these clubs looked good, I looked down at the shaft and I saw graphite written there. Now, like I mentioned before, I've been playing golf for almost 40 years now. I started playing when I was 3 years old. My father had been a head golf professional at a country club in his younger years, and he put a golf club in my hand at a very early age. So I've been swinging golf clubs a lot. My entire life, I've hit steel shafted clubs, other than of course a driver or a 3-wood or something like that. But when it comes to irons, I've never played anything other than steel. And I've always kind of had that perception where graphite is for seniors or for women. But let me tell you, when I tried those sticks out with a stiff graphite shaft, I realized something that I just hadn't realized before. Graphite has become a really advanced and great alternative from what it was when it first came out on the market. And I loved those sticks. So easy to get up in the air. I love the way they felt. I felt like I wasn't getting the same vibrations that I normally get when the ball is struck or when the club makes contact with the hitting mat or the grass. It just felt a little easier and it felt a little better. And I gotta say, I would consider now using a stiff graphite shaft. That technology has definitely made leaps and bounds from when it first came out. The second time my mind was blown was also at the PGA show this year when I stumbled into a niche brand from Japan and I decided to just pick up their clubs. Like I said, I'd never heard of this brand. It's called DOCUS Design, and it turned out that I could not hit a bad shot with their clubs. This driver shocked the hell out of me and my friend Wade, who was watching me hit shots out on the range.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, that's great.
I must have hit 10 to 15 drives in a row that you could draw a circle 3 to 5 yards around and the balls would have all been in that little circle. Absolutely incredible, the consistency that I got out of this particular shaft. And it's a shaft I'm actually going to build a custom club with here later in the year. We're gonna try to put this on another one of my drivers and see if I can build a super club. Now, before we move on to the rest of the list here, I do wanna thank the sponsor of this video, which is PXG. PXG making some really good golf clubs. You may have seen me review a couple of these on the channel. Those were not paid reviews, by the way. I actually went out and purchased those clubs with my own money. But I gotta say, I was really impressed with the results I'm getting from these things. They came out with an entire line of Gen 5 irons and drivers this year, which I have not yet tested, but I am really looking forward to. But I have tried these new O211s, the X-Core 2s, and man, again, really blown away with the results. I happen to get my club set up 1 degree upright. I get stiff shafts and I get medium-sized grips. Whatever the case may be for you, customizations and shaft upgrades are free of charge there at PXG, at least for most of the shafts that I've seen. So I really love that about the brand. Really cool company doing some amazing things, pushing the boundaries of golf club technology. And I always like when people are trying and experimenting with new things. Check them out at pxg.com. You can call them at 844-PLAY-PXG, or you can walk into a fitting studio near you. They've got them all over the country. Now, the third time I was shocked this year was when I started testing MIZUNO irons. They've got the 221s, which are their player's blade. They've got the 223s, which are a player's cavity back iron. And they've got the 225s, which are a hollow body design. Well, I went in thinking that I would absolutely be choosing the hollow body design as my favorite of the 3 new clubs that they released. However, I found myself really being won over by the 223s, which I would think would be a little bit harder to hit, but I actually found them to be easier to hit and to have better results. In fact, I was getting better distances out of those as well. And of course, getting more workability that you would get out of a player's iron. So I was absolutely shocked that of all the Mizunos I tried this year, the 223s, I thought were the ones for me. The fourth time I was shocked this year was drivers again, and it came down to the driver finale. Now, if you weren't watching Let's Play Through in the spring, maybe you're a new subscriber. If you're not subscribed, by the way, hit subscribe. But if you weren't watching the show back then, we were creating a driver bracket. I had 8 drivers that I was pitting up against each other. And when I was putting the drivers together and really looking at them on paper, I was thinking to myself, the 2 that are definitely gonna be in the final are gonna be the Rogue ST from Callaway and the LTD from Cobra. Those are the 2 best drivers that I thought would make the finals. But in fact, and this is because we tested them out on course, I literally put them up head to head in this bracket. I was looking at distance, forgiveness, accuracy, workability, value, as well as aesthetics. And we found that the best 2 drivers, at least for me, when all of those categories were considered, was the Mizuno STZ220, as well as the Tour Edge Exotics C722. That blew my mind because I was not expecting 2 more niche brands to beat out the competition of these giant manufacturers that have all this R&D budget and all this marketing behind them. Again, just goes to show you, you really need to look at all of the options out in the market, and you just might be surprised at what you like. The 5th time I was shocked this year was the fact that TaylorMade actually came out with a new driver, which I did not think was a significant enough upgrade to come out only a year after a really good driver in the Sim 2. I felt, and I said this during my review, that they should have at least let that Sim 2 ride out another year. But who knows, maybe stockholders had another idea and they really wanted to get some new clubs out on the market. The Stealth, to me, putting them head to head up against each other, again, for this mere mortal and at least my swing speeds, I only found there to be about a 1 yard difference in those clubs, and all of the other categories pretty much equal. So they made a big deal of this carbon wood, and for me, I just did not see the performance benefit. But who knows, maybe if I had higher swing speeds, I would realize a bigger difference. But in the case of the Stealth, I found it to be a great driver in its own right, but just not that much of an evolution from the Sim 2, which was such a fantastic driver. Now, the 6th time I was shocked this year also has to do with the Stealth, but this is the Stealth irons. And the Stealth irons, after having seen that there wasn't such a leap in innovation from the Sim 2, the Stealth irons, I just didn't expect a whole lot. However, I was really pleasantly surprised to encounter the fact that the Stealth irons, I thought, are a significant upgrade over the Sim 2 irons. The Sim 2 irons, of course, the ones that I've been playing and have been in my bag for the last year. I find the Stealths to be significantly longer, as much as a half a club to up to a full club longer at my swing speed. And I also found them to have an incredibly smooth and buttery feel to them, again, being a game improvement cast iron club. You just don't get that out of too many clubs in that category, and the Stealth really shined for me when it came to the irons. So great job, TaylorMade, and that to me was a huge redemption in the Stealth line. They were a huge improvement to me, at least, over the Sim 2s, which I already loved. Now, the other brand that shocked me was TITLEIST. I tried the T100, the T200, and the T300. And of all the Titleists that I tried, I liked the T100S the best. And again, very shocking because those irons sit squarely in the players category. Now, if you don't know me and you don't know this channel, I'm a 5.1 handicap, so you'd think, sure, he's gonna love the players irons, but the fact of the matter is I don't hit the ball all that long. I only drive it about 250 yards. I'm a mere mortal, just like a lot of the folks that watch this channel. I'm not hitting it 300 yards, and so I need all the distance and forgiveness I can get. I'm also just not a great ball striker. My miss is normally thin, so again, needing the forgiveness, I figured I'd really be drawn to the T200s. I figured the T300s might be a little bit too game improvement-y for me, but the T200s I figured would be really the sweet spot. But no, I found that I really liked the T100S in the Titleist line this year. So go figure, that's why you've always got to test all of the clubs. You can't rely just on your own biases and what your preconceived notions are. You got to try them and swing them for yourself. Well guys, it's only 7 months into the year, and that's 7 times I've been shocked. So doing the math, we've got 5 more times to be shocked this year, and maybe we'll have to do an update here at the end of 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, here are a couple others I think you're really going to enjoy. I ranked golf brands here in this video, which was very contentious, and I ranked golf ball brands here as well, and that one was contentious. We had a little bit of fun, so I'd love to hear your opinion on those, and I'll catch you back here very soon on another edition of Let's Play Through.